Welcome to Home Field Advantage, SFA's only home for sports nationally, locally, and on campus. I'm your host, Bobby Morrow. Today we'll be covering all of your favorite Texas teams, as well as SFA bowling, Battle of the Piney Woods, and much more. We'll also have SFA wide receiver Aaron Thomas in the studio with us and take a look at MMA in the world of college athletics. You won't want to miss what's next on Home Field Advantage. It was a nail-biter in New Orleans on Sunday night when the Cowboys came to town. The Cowboys seemed sluggish for most of the game, but a fourth-quarter drive resulting in Brandon Weeden connecting with Terrence Williams in the end zone to tie the game at 20. Drew Brees led the Saints on a methodical drive down the field, only to have the kicker miss a chip shot game winner. In what ended up being the shortest overtime in NFL history, Saints quarterback Drew Brees found running back C.J. Spiller for an 80-yard bomb to win it, putting Brees in the 400-touchdown club and giving the Saints their first win of the season. Cowboys fall to 2-2.
The Houston Texans were sent home from Atlanta this past weekend with a 21-48 loss, failing to make it to 500 at the quarter mark of the season. Backup quarterback Brian Hoyer, who started for the team in Week 1, filled in for new starter Mallet after going 12 for 20, 77 for 150 yards, and a pickup, earning himself a 46.8 QB rating. Hoyer went 70 for 30 for 323 and 2 scores, as well as another scoring drive, and all in the fourth quarter. Even though Mallet got his starting job from revealing Hoyer in the first game of the season and performing better, there will be no change for Thursday night. The Colts are also without their starting QB for the first time being, which should do nothing but help the Texans as they prepare to welcome Indianapolis.
The Houston Astros will be traveling to the Bronx to face off the Yankees in the American League Wild Card game this Tuesday. Houston won the series against New York 4-3, splitting a 4-game series at Minute Maid and taking 2 of the 3 at Yankee Stadium later on in the year. The Astros will be sending their ace pitcher Dallas Keuchel to the mound with the idea that he will mow down a desperate Yankees lineup. Yankees ace Masahiro Tanaka will be on the mound for New York, meaning that this looks like it might be an old-fashioned pitching duel between the two.
This past week was rewarding to the Rangers and their faithful as Texas clinched the AL West title after winning half of their games against the Angels, eliminating them from playoff contention along the way. This will be the Rangers' first postseason run since 2012, in which they lost the ALL wildcard game to the Rays. After plague of injuries last season, nobody knew what the Rangers had in store for this season. But with the healthy Prince Fielder and Shin Soo Shu alongside a talented Belter, this makes the Rangers a scary postseason team. Texas will go into Toronto to face the Blue Jays on October 8th.
The powerhouses of college football are deep in the heart of Texas this year. The latest NCAA polls show 3 of the top 10 teams in the nation are from the Lone Star State. TCU, Baylor, and Texas A&M are all receiving first-place votes after starting the season undefeated. But how long can they keep it up? TCU, Baylor, and Texas A&M all face fierce conference tests in the coming weeks from which they could be knocked from the ranks of the unbeaten. Both TCU and Baylor have a chip on their shoulder after being left out of the college football playoffs last year, and they're looking to leave no room for doubt that they should make it this year.
The woes continue for the Texas Longhorn football team as they lost in a blowout to TCU 50-70 this past Saturday. The 1-4 Longhorns traveled to Fort Worth to take on the number 4 team in the nation, the TCU Horned Frogs. The Horned Frogs could not be stopped on offense as Trayvon Boykin threw 5 passing touchdowns, including 4 to Kevontae Trumpin, the freshman receiver. The Longhorns are struggling this year and off to their worst start since going 1 for 9 in 1957. TCU will look to extend their 13-game winning streak this week at Kansas State, while Texas will try to turn things around in the Red River rivalry against number 10 ranked Oklahoma.
The 90th Battle of the Piney Woods once again was not in favor of SFA's Lumberjacks. With a score of 34-28, the Sam Houston Bearcats won for the 5th year in a row. Zach Conk's pass to Daquan Ruffin gave an optimistic start to the game and led with the first touchdown, but Sam's 3 long punt returns gave them room to come back. The Jacks are 0-5 right now. Hopefully they'll pull a win and put a stop to the losing streak against Nicholls State this Saturday at 3 at Homer Bryce.
The Lady Jacks bowling team enters the preseason ranked third in the nation according to the National 10-Pin Coaches Association poll. Beating schools like Sam Houston that come in sixth place, this follows their nearly perfect 2014-2015 season in which they made their first ever tournament appearance and come in second to Nebraska. The regular season begins on October 16th for the All-State Sugar Bowl Collegiate Invitational in Kenner, Louisiana, the first of many tournaments that will compete the season in total for the Jacks.
When we come back, a closer look at the world of MMA. We'll have Aaron Thomas in the studio with us, and later we'll have a panel discussion about everything sports. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Home Field Advantage. One of the most athletically tasking sports on earth, mixed martial arts, is not an official collegiate sport. Our very own Philly Galindo and Crystal Hickman talked to local MMA fighter Brian Morales about the issue.
With the increasing amount of universities allowing the teaching of martial arts, several SFA students are encouraging official classes on campus. One of those students is Brian Morales.
I studied Shotokan Karate, which is based in Okinawa, Japan. I studied for the past 6 years. It is the main martial art that I studied in.
In high school, Brian's ROTC drill sergeant trained him after class for 3 hours, 3 days a week. He later practiced Shaolin Kung Fu in Houston and even grew to admire nunchucks.
I personally fell in love with them, and it's very cliche. It was because of Bruce Lee. It was because of the movies and stuff, the way he would move them fast enough. I'm nowhere compared to how he was able to use them. All the flashy moves that people might do in, like on YouTube, or on TV, those are impressive. They're very impressive things. But, the way Bruce Lee used it was more efficient.
With so much that he has learned from martial arts, Brian has become a teacher to those willing to learn and practice. However, he does have a certain expectation, not just from his students, but any student on campus that will possibly join SFA martial arts courses.
I don't want to teach anyone who wants to learn how to kill someone or punch someone in the throat, for example, an extreme that makes me look bad, that makes the idea of what a martial artist is look bad, and it is also a dishonor to my sensei and my lineage of what I've been training.
Although he is careful in choosing his own students, Brian keeps an open mind when it comes to universities hiring professionals in martial arts. He encourages official courses mostly because of the reason he took on martial arts.
The idea of incorporating martial arts to universities or even to public schools, it's a good idea. It's a great way for people to be active. It's not just self-defense. It's not just fighting. It's not just training. Physically. It can also be great for your health. For your well-being. I got into martial arts because at first I got into it because of bullying. I wanted to defend myself. As the years went on and I stayed in it and I trained in it, I learned what it truly meant to be in martial arts and to train martial arts. And it's gotten to the point where it's second nature to me. It's part of my life. It's a lifestyle in a way. And incorporating into university, where it's a place for the youth, for people to find themselves, to grow who they are as a human being, it would be a really creative alternative to helping people discover that self-identity.
At SFA, I'm Crystal Hickman with Home Field Advantage.
Welcome back. I'm Maddie Kaufman, and today I'm joined by Stephen F. Austin's very own Aaron Thomas. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, since we're a sports show, we're talking about football today. So, what made you join SFA football?
Well, SFA was one of the only schools that gave me a chance. I didn't have any scholarship offers out of high school. I got talked to by a couple of small schools, but I wanted to play Division I, and SFA gave me a shot. I had a coach who used to play here and coach here, so he got me into contact with the coaches here, and they gave me an opportunity. So that's why I came here, just because they're the only ones that gave me a shot, really. So.
Okay. I understand that you were a walk-on at the time, so I'm assuming you're not a walk-on now. But so, what was the transition like from being a walk-on to a scholarship athlete?
I earned my scholarship my freshman year, in the spring of my freshman year, and really, I try to approach everything like I did back then. So not much has changed, honestly. I try to be the best I can be in everything that I do. It hadn't been a huge transition. It's just been getting to know and getting to feel the program out when I was a freshman, and then now I just try to be a leader and try to be the best I can be. So.
Awesome. So this is your last year.
Yeah.
Right? You done? Are you ready to go?
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of bittersweet.
Oh, definitely.
There's been a lot of great things that have happened to me here, and I'm just really thankful for all those opportunities. It's going to be sad. It's going to be a lot different whenever football's not a part of my life, but I'm trying to make the most out of the last 6 games. So
definitely.
That's all
Speaking
I
of
can
that, how do you feel about the season so far?
Well, we hadn't had the best start. Everybody knows that 0-5 isn't ideal for anybody, and it's definitely not where we expected to be at this point in the season. We had high hopes for this team, and we still do. I mean, we still think we're a good team. We've lost 5 games, and 3 of those have been by 6 points or less. And so, we have high hopes for the rest of the season, and we're just going to keep pushing. Keep figuring out the team who's going to be the playmakers, and so.
Yeah, as long as you do what you need to do to better your team. I get that. So speaking of football, I understand that this past summer you got married.
Yeah.
To a really big, I guess, sports fanatic. Tell us more about that. Her name is Addie Jane. Her brothers are Jackson and Jordan Shipley that were, part of the football team at UT. Tell us more about that.
Yeah. Well. We grew up together. I was best friends with Jackson all growing up, and I always had like a little crush on Addie. They moved whenever we were in high school, so the only reason I ever really stayed in touch with them was because of Jackson. And then whenever we got to college, somehow me and Addie started talking a little bit more, and then it turned into something more than that. And I was a little worried about what Jackson would think at first, but he loves it.
That's awesome.
And so it's been really good.
So y'all met whenever y'all were little?
Yeah, we met when I was in 2nd grade, so I've known her for a long time. Yeah.
For a really long. So y'all weren't high school sweethearts or anything?
No. Yeah, we just figured it out in college. We did long distance for probably a year and a half or so, and that was tough, but that taught us a lot. And then she transferred here, then we got married in May, and it's been awesome. It's been a learning process, but it's been really great. So
that's awesome. So I heard that the wedding was kind of like the weather wasn't.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
So I'm sure that the wedding part of it, all your friends and family there, everything was perfect. But tell us about the weather. What happened?
Yeah. So. We had this outdoor wedding plan, this
I bet it was beautiful.
Big extravagant deal, and then a cold front came in at the end of May. It was like 68 degrees one day, and actually we were at my bachelor party. We were supposed to go on the lake. It was 68 degrees and rain, and we couldn't do that. And then the day of the wedding, we had a 100% chance of rain. The wedding was at 6. It started raining about 4, and it didn't stop. There was a tornado about 5 miles away. It was crazy. It was probably the worst weather you can think of for a wedding, but we still had an awesome time.
I heard I had a lot of friends. Yeah, I heard it was a really nice wedding anyway, and that's, weddings, family together, friends and family love. It's just, I bet it was beautiful. So
it was awesome.
How is it, juggling, I know you're in grad school now. How is that juggling grad school, being married and D1 football? How is all of that?
It's a lot, but it's awesome that I have the opportunity to do all of those things. School, I figured out how to juggle school and football pretty easily over the last few years. And adding a wife to it's really just a bonus because she gets to, go through things with me. She gets to be there to support me. She gets to be there to cook me meals when I get home from practice. So it's good. It's been awesome. I think we're getting our schedules figured out, I'm getting the balance figured out, and then, just taking it day by day, and that's all I can do really. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if you heard about the UT game what have you talked to Jackson or Jordan about it, about what they feel?
No,
about
I haven't. You know, Jackson was a part of the first year Charlie Strong was there last year, and you know, he just said there was a lot of transition going on there.
I bet from Mac to
yeah, it's just a big transition, and I think I haven't talked to him much, but I think that program's just trying to figure it out. But I mean, when Jordan was there, it was great for them. You know, they had Colt McCoy, Jordan Shipley. Everybody knows that combination, so they had an awesome time there, and you know, they'll always love Texas no matter what. So.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's all the time we have. Thanks for coming to join us today. Coming up, we'll have a group discussion about what's happened this week in sports. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Home Field Advantage. I'm your host, Bobby, and joining me in the studio now, I have Corbin Kraber and Crystal Hickman. And now we have my favorite portion of the show, the debate portion. I don't know if you guys are excited as I am. I mean, I get to do this every week, but I mean, you think it gets boring, but we keep it live, right?
Yeah,
let's keep it live today.
Debates are always exciting.
Oh yeah. So, playoffs, MLB playoffs are starting soon. So let's talk about that, all right? How about those Rangers and Blue Jays? What do you guys think about that series? Coming out of the gate, what do you think?
Off top, I think Rangers have that whole series. You have to give a lot of credit to their general manager, John Daniels, for coming up with this good team with all the trades, especially for Cole, the new pitcher.
Cole Hamels, absolutely great addition. Great
addition to their success.
Yeah, I mean, he had a no-hitter right before they got him. I think he was definitely the hottest pitcher in baseball when they got him. Their GM has done a great job, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
My thing is, though, I don't know if that one great pitcher is going to do much for him, because these Blue Jays are leading the league in team home runs. You can't stop that power. You just can't do it. They are hitting so many home runs, they're going to score the runs, and sorry, but the Rangers are going down.
Well, I mean, the Rangers, they have a chance, but at the same time, like, you have to give it a lot of credit to their team. Like, they're coming together. Like, they're going to be better than what people are expecting them to be.
Yeah. What are you thinking, man? What do you got over here for the Rangers or Jays?
Honestly, I would go for the Rangers because I am a big Rangers fan, and other than that, I will say that. But it's a team sport, in my opinion.
Yes.
Anything that's ball sport is a team sport.
That's why I said it's team home runs. That's why the Blue Jays are leading the team home runs.
Yes,
that's why they're going to beat the Rangers team.
Yes, I agree with you, all right, but I will give it to the Jays. They are still in this, all right? You cannot assume anything at all, all right? So
because the amount of games they won is not much difference. They won 93, Rangers won 88, so, I mean,
that's
like,
true.
it's
close.
It's close,
but...
So.
All right, so I mean, I'm taking the Jays. Y'all taking the Rangers. But how about that other Texas team?
Oh, the Astros.
My Astros in the wild card game with the Yankees. Obviously, I gotta come straight out and say it. I'm going for the Astros, but there's reasons behind it. I'll get to that in a second. What about you guys?
Well, I'm going with the Astros as well. Like, Dallas.
Keuchel, Dallas Keuchel, yeah.
You know, I get his name confused.
Fear the beard.
Yeah, like, he's nominated for the AL Cy Young Contender Award. So yeah, he's a pretty big player.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. What do you think, man?
I'll go for the Astros again.
Here we go.
I am an Astros fan also, and the Yankees. Yes, again, I've looked at who's been put up most of the fight over the past couple games. Even though it doesn't matter who's won most games, I think that the Astros have put more effort into it no matter what. So therefore,
they're young guns.
Yes.
There's some young guns. You have Carlos Correa. He's going to be, I assume he's going to be the AL Rookie of the Year. He has the most home runs of any Astros rookie since Lance Berkman, who's going to be a Hall of Famer. We all know that. And then you have George Springer, the hotshot outfielder who can make plays in the field, and he's hitting home runs almost every other game.
But you have to think about Dallas Keuchel. Like, in his first two starts against the Yankees, he had 16 scoreless innings. So I'm pretty sure he
that's dominance.
Yeah,
that's
dominant,
just pure dominance. So, all right, so we're all in agreement about those Astros,
yes,
then, right?
We are.
All right, that's good to hear.
Ooh.
Now on to football.
Oh.
How about those Cowboys?
Those Cowboys.
With those Saints.
Cowboys, they need to get better at third downs. They were 3 for 12 in the game against the Saints, and I feel like that's what really hurt them was the third down.
Yeah, well, you just got to, when you don't have Dez and when you don't have Tony Romo, third down's a passing down.
Okay, hold on. It's a team sport, my friend.
Okay,
Again,
that's true.
It doesn't matter. Again, it was 10-7 in when I was watching time in the beginning of the first or second quarter. Again, it was the defense, all right, that was the problem. They weren't in their right minds. They weren't ready.
Well, when you're
I think
playing
it was
against Drew
offense.
Brees, your defense not going to be able to do much unless you have the Seahawks defense because they're the best defense in the league. But what I'm saying is she was going back to third downs.
Yeah.
You don't have Tony Romo. You don't have Des Bryant. You can say what you will about them, two of the best players in the league. Third down's a passing down. That's a passing situation. You don't have your receiver or quarterback. And it's just third downs, but that's a big thing.
That's like
But
saying
give some
I could go
credit.
in there and run and score against them anytime. No,
Give
you need
some
a whole
credit
team.
To Drew Brees, though, he got his 400 touchdown.
He got his 400th
got
touchdown.
So give him some
That is
credit
a
as
club
well.
to be very proud of.
Very
I mean,
proud of that.
he's first ballot Hall of Famer, easily in my eyes. I mean,
Yeah,
come
he
on.
is,
Now, I was at another football game this
Okay.
weekend, and it was our own Battle of Piney Woods. I mean, were you guys able to go to it?
Oh, I didn't make it, but I did keep up with the
honest,
stats, and
no, and I'm very angry because of that.
I thought the game was pretty even. I thought Sam had their ups, we had our ups,
Oh, absolutely,
but I
absolutely.
feel like what I thought changed the game was the reverse call. I feel like that probably.
Well, there were a lot of, I'm going to say, iffy calls
Yeah.
by the officials in that game, but I don't want to get too much into that one. What do you got to say?
I will think that I will say that, and in my own personal opinion, I was not there, but getting the results I'd say the score and all that, I'd say it had to be a good game.
It was a great
Good
game.
game.
The only thing is, I can say this, is our special team, Stephen F. Austin's special teams, our punt team had to be better. They had 2, should have been 3 punt returns for touchdowns, and if we would have stopped those, then we would have won the game by far. Now, back to pro football.
Yeah.
We have my own Houston Texans playing on those Colts on Thursday Night Football.
Okay, well, for one, Texans suffering more injuries, like with Smith being out,
Yeah,
and
Dwayne
also
Smith, yeah.
Washington and Shorts, and
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
Nate Washington, Cecil Shorts III. That's 2
Yeah.
great receivers going down. We don't really have a great passing game as it is right
Exactly,
now. So what are they going to do with
Texans
that?
are not winning at
Arian
all.
Foster's not doing too hot. We don't know what's going to
Yeah,
happen.
and he
with that
just
one.
came back, so it's like you're hoping for him to do better, but just give him some time.
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty sure he'll ease
think
back into
once he
it.
heals completely,
Yeah.
I think he'll be okay. But I don't think he's quite healed yet. So we'll see what happens.
I'm going to disagree. I would say that again. I will go put my luck on my Houston Texans. Okay.
You put your luck as in Andrew Luck, as in Indianapolis
Yeah.
Colts?
No,
Okay.
no. Again, it is a team sport. No matter what, I don't
saying that one.
because it's the truth. I don't look at football or basketball, anything. All right, and look where LeBron James is at right now.
But we're talking about the Texans versus
Yes, it doesn't
Colts.
matter though.
You keep saying it's a team sport, but
It
if
is a
half your
team
team
sport.
is injured, then it's not a team. Like,
Well, okay.
Yes, because it takes a whole group to push on. All right.
Now you're talking about injuries on
Yeah.
our side. And then we have injuries on the Colts side.
That's true.
Andrew Luck was out this past week with a little bit of shoulder irritation. I don't think it's gonna be bad enough to sideline him for next week. So I think he's gonna play. And you know what? When Luck's playing against the Colts, bad thing is gonna happen. All right, real quick. Let's talk about the Texas Longhorns' woes. They are, what is it?
1-4.
1-4
and
right
they're
now.
0-2 in the conference,
Yeah,
right?
and you know
So-
what? That's almost as bad as their worst start ever, which was
Yeah.
1-9 in 1957.
But you have to think about who they're playing. The number 2 team right now,
that's true.
TCU,
I'm not
they
very
played
shocked,
them.
to be
That's
honest.
true. Now, if they would not have scored, that in the last 5 minutes in the last game, it would have been their worst loss in 107 years,
Ooh.
which they lost to OU. 107 years. I don't think they're going to do very good. I don't think they can make up for it
We'll
this
see.
horrible
We
season.
got more
so
football
far.
coming up.
That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at SFA_HFA for the latest updates on the Lumberjacks and from around the state. And be sure to nominate a student athlete you know for our weekly Aspire for Greatness Award, where we will highlight the winner on next week's show for excelling beyond the field, whether that be in the community, classroom, or otherwise. Just tag them with the hashtag Aspire for Greatness. We'll be back next week with all of your latest SFA, local, state, and nationwide sports news. I'm Bobby Morrow, and I'll see you next week on Home Field Advantage.
Yeah. Yes. That was yes.